What if I told you the AI you're talking to right now doesn't actually understand you the way humans do, yet somehow it gives answers that feel intelligent, relevant, even creative? How is that even possible? That's exactly what a large language model or LLM is all about. Hey everyone, I am Rajkumar, a software engineer at Infoedge, and I've been working on AI related systems for a long time now. From basic automation scripts to building real world systems powered by AI. And in this video, I want to break down what an LLM really is. Not in a complicated way, but in a way that actually makes sense. So let's start simple. What exactly is an LLM? A large language model is an AI system trained to understand and generate human-like text. But here's the most important thing. It's not thinking. It's predicting. Every time you type something, the model looks at your input and predicts the next most likely word, then the next word, and the next, and keeps going step by step. It's like an extremely advanced autocomplete system, but trained on massive amounts of data. Imagine this. You type, the capital of India is, the model predicts New Delhi. Not because it knows geography like a human, but because during training, it has seen this pattern again and again. Now scale this idea from a few sentences to billions of sentences across books, websites, articles, code, conversations, and suddenly it starts to feel intelligent. That's the illusion of intelligence. Now let's talk about why it's called large. LLMs are trained on extremely large datasets, and they contain billions, sometimes even trillions of parameters. Parameters are basically numbers that store relationships between words, phrases, and concepts. Think of it like this. The model learns that king is related to queen, Paris is related to France, and code is related to programming. The more parameters, the more complex relationships it can capture. But raw training is not enough, because just predicting text doesn't automatically make it useful. So what happens next? These models go through multiple stages of training. First, pre-training, where they learn general language patterns from massive data. Then, fine-tuning, where they learn how to follow instructions. And finally, alignment, where they are optimized to be helpful, safe, and usable. That's why when you use tools like ChatGPT, it feels like you are interacting with something intelligent, even though underneath, it's still predicting tokens one by one. And this is what makes LLMs so powerful. They convert simple prediction into something that feels like real intelligence. But let's slow down for a moment, because this is where most people get it wrong. LLMs are powerful, but they are not perfect. They can generate incorrect answers, they can sound confident even when they are wrong, and sometimes they completely make things up. This is known as hallucination, and the reason is simple. The model is trained to predict what sounds right, not what is guaranteed to be true. It doesn't verify facts, it doesn't have real-world awareness, it doesn't know, it just predicts. Another important point, LLMs don't have consciousness or understanding. They don't think, they don't reason like humans, they just simulate reasoning through patterns. And yet, the results are so good that it feels like real intelligence. So how do we make LLMs more reliable? By combining them with systems. This is where things get interesting, because LLMs alone are powerful, but LLMs plus systems are game-changing. For example, you can connect an LLM to a database, so instead of guessing, it retrieves real information. This is called Retrieval Augmented Generation or RAG. You can connect it to tools and APIs so it can take actions, not just generate text. You can give it memory so it remembers past interactions and context. And when you combine all of this, you don't just have a model anymore, you have an intelligent system. That's why in 2026, LLMs are becoming the brain of modern AI applications. They are being used in coding assistants, chatbots, business automation, content creation, research tools, basically everywhere. But here's the key takeaway. An LLM is not magic. It's a highly advanced next word prediction system trained on massive data that can generate human-like responses. The real power doesn't come from the model alone. It comes from how you use it. When you combine LLMs with tools, data, and workflows, you unlock their true potential. So next time you use AI, remember this. It's not actually thinking like you, but it's incredibly good at mimicking intelligence. And the people who understand this, who know how to build with LLMs, are the ones who will lead the future of AI. So the real question is, are you just using LLMs or are you learning how to build with them?